Hi everyone, today we're going to be making a golden paste for your pet. It's really easy to do, and then after we're going to show you some other recipes and ways you can incorporate it into treats for them too. With 3/4 of a cup of some organic turkey broth that we actually just had left over. You can use chicken broth, beef broth, your bone broths would be excellent here. You start by just pouring that into a pot. And you're gonna add your turmeric here. We have 1/3 of a cup of turmeric. This is also organic turmeric. We're gonna blend all that together and put it on the stove. These came out really nicely here. You wanna make sure though that you do continuously whisk it because it can burn the bottom of the pan. Then we're gonna go ahead and add, we have 1/4 of a cup of organic unrefined coconut oil. We have 2.5 teaspoons of black pepper here. So the black pepper is really important because the heat and the black pepper actually activate the turmeric or the curcumin inside, and that's what makes it more bioavailable in your body and your pet's body. We have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon here. I'm gonna add that in. And then we actually have 1 tablespoon of freshly ground ginger. That cuts some of the bitterness of the turmeric because, as we know, pets smell 40 times more than we do. So if they can sense something in their food that they don't like, they're just not gonna eat it. So that's also why we used a bone broth. If you wanna make it a little more liquidy, you can just up the bone broth or the broth in general. You can also use water if you'd like. So you just wanna stir that all together really good with your whisk. And then we're gonna show you how you can use this as some treats for them. So for this part, we're going to use our turmeric paste we just made and show you how to incorporate it in 3 different ways for some other treats for your pet. I personally like to use gloves. If you've ever worked with turmeric before, it stains everything very easily, including your hands. So just keep that in mind depending on the kind of countertop you have or what bowl you might be using. So first we're gonna show you just using our Mine feeding platter, something easy you can do. You can just scoop the turmeric paste right into these little divots, and you can finish doing that all along here and pop it in the freezer overnight and just scoop them out, and your pet can get 1 or a few of these a day depending on their weight, which we'll have the information on our blog below. The next one we're gonna make is going to incorporate our raw goat's milk. We like Answers. We've just been using it for a really long time. So first we're gonna do about 2 heaping, tablespoons. I think it looks like about 1/4 of a cup. And we're gonna add, I pre-measured this, so it's 2 ounces of the Answers goat milk. And we wanna whisk that together. You could also use a raw kefir. And if you don't do raw, you could just use plain unsweetened hormone-free yogurt too. And we're going to then, I don't want to touch anything else with that since we had the raw goat milk with it. Pour it in something that we can pour easier into our mold here. So we just have a silicone mold that we're gonna fill up. And then lastly, we're going to use some more of our organic turkey broth to make one last treat option. And also to note, using the platter, you can always just put it in like that in the morning. You can keep this turmeric paste frozen in a mason jar for up to a month, or you can keep it in your fridge for up to 2 weeks. I would recommend just obviously freezing what you're not going to use immediately. So as you can see, we didn't fill up the mold completely, but now we're gonna go in and drop some of our bone broth in there. I've got to transfer the bone broth and get into something with a spout. But it is nice because even though the recipe takes a little time to make, you still have so much left over, and you just want to pop this in the freezer in a mason jar like I suggested, or put it in up to a month, or put it in the refrigerator for 2 weeks. And you can, again, just put it on top of their food every morning in this consistency. You could also add this to a regular cookie treat recipe that you have for your pet and do some experimenting. It's really nice though when you're incorporating this other superfood like a raw goat's milk or a bone broth. Ours was just regular broth, but a bone broth would be amazing, or a kefir, because you're getting the benefits of those items too, all in one treat. So let's talk just for a second about why we love turmeric so much for your pet, my pet, myself. I take it every day. The curcumin in it, when it's activated, reduces inflammation. What's really great is in this recipe, we added the ginger to not only cut some of the tartness, but ginger is amazing for digestion. We do a lot of prevention around here because I truly believe that prevention is much easier than once you do have an illness of any sort. So turmeric is amazing for inflammation, and inflammation is the root cause of gut problems, disease, joint problems, arthritis, pain, kind of a lot that goes on in our bodies. So we just really want to try to keep that inflammation down as much as we can. And what I actually forgot to mention too is we normally do this with incorporating our CBD as an option. We didn't show you that, but it would be really easy just to drop it in any of those molds. And another thing in the recipe is by using a bone broth, if you choose to do that instead of water, that's great for gut and joint health also. And we included some fresh ground ginger in the recipe. That's amazing for gut health. The cinnamon has antibacterial properties. So this just really packs in a lot of nutritional things for your pet. But please remember, the pepper and heating is key, because if not, your body does not process it, and that goes for people too. You have to have those things incorporated for your body to absorb it properly. So here we have Paddington. We newly adopted him. It's been 2.5 weeks only, and he's going to be our little taste tester. So this is one that actually broke, but it's the raw goat milk and turmeric one. He seems to really love it, and I can tell you that he didn't love it when it's by itself, but he definitely likes it with the goat milk. Thank you everyone for joining us.